video, instructional video on how to make a pearl and wire ring. So I am waiting here on the fabulous Sylvia Dawe, who is going to take us inside her artist studio and show us how to make these rings. She started offering these rings for sale through the Pearl Girls, and then we hosted a big fundraiser for a local organization called Project Safe, where we opened up oysters and got pearls, and then we drilled the pearls, and then Sylvia made rings. With the COVID, you know, we're all inside. We've been selling a lot more of these open oyster kits. They're tons of fun. My children love them. Everybody loves them. And they come with a necklace, which is great. But the ring is a neat alternative. If you ever open your oyster and get a pearl and you want to send it back to the Pearl Girls, we can drill it and Sylvia can make a ring for you. Or maybe after today, you will be inspired to, oh, she's coming in. You might be inspired to make your own ring. So Sylvia is about to join us, and she's going to take us inside her studio and show us how she makes these wire and pearl rings. Sylvia, you look fabulous.
Hello, my name is Sylvia Dawe. I'm a Pearl Girl, and today I'm going to show you how to make a wire wrapped ring. I've got some samples here of wire wrap rings that you can find at the Pearl Girls. And I wanted to just quickly tell you the different looks and outcomes depending on the size pearl that you use, the shape of the pearl. Some of these are flatter. These are called coin pearls, and they're bigger. This is a large pearl here. I've got a caliper. I can measure it for you. This pearl is almost 10 millimeters across. This pearl here is about 6 millimeters across. So depending on the size of the pearl, and of course the size of your finger that you want to wear the pearl on, you could wear it on any finger. And at the Pearl Girls, they have a gauge that they'll use to measure your finger. And so I'll build the pearl ring for that size. I can build them any size. And
Sylvia, do you mind if I ask you a little question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So let's say somebody's at home and they're wanting to try this out. And is the size of a pearl just a matter of preference, or does it affect how you construct the ring, or does it just affect what supplies you need? But kind of tell me more about the significance of that pearl and the pearl size.
Okay. Well, you can obviously deduct that if you need a bigger ring, it will take more wire. And for this demonstration, I'm going to use some sterling silver wire that I've cut. I always measure, and a good average is about a foot. So I'm always averaging a foot, but with a larger ring size, you would need more wire. With a larger pearl, you would use more wire. Okay. The outcome of the wrap is also different. There's more wire showing around the tiny pearl. There's less wire or hardly any wire showing because it ends up underneath the pearl on a coin pearl ring. So a good in-between size, this is probably about a 7 millimeter pearl. So you've got 3, 4 or so wraps around the pearl that you can plainly see. The larger the pearl, the taller it sits on the nest of wire. So all of that is a factor in the outcome of the wire wrapping. Did that
Okay.
answer your question?
That did. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, okay. In order to begin, I have it's about 13 inches of wire that I have here. I've confirmed my ring size, and I'm going to make this to fit me. I've got a pearl that Rachel sent home with Abby, another pearl girl, and I hope that the hole in the pearl will fit this size wire. Thicker wire has other uses, but I like to use this gauge wire, 22 gauge, sterling silver wire. And I put that pearl on there. It slipped on very easily, sometimes with a smaller hole size, and they do vary. I have a pearl drilling unit I learned how to use at the Pearl Girls to make the hole size bigger. So basically, I'm just going to put the pearl about in the middle of the wire. Now I've got some tools here.
We see
I'm
you,
looking
William.
for my mandrel.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to stay out of it.
No, that's fine. It's good to know the man behind the camera, right?
So I'm going to use a ring mandrel that corresponds to the size that we decided to make for this sample. And I want to have it turn out about a size 8 or 8 1/4, so it'll slip on my finger easily. And I have, and on this side is a hole on the side of the wood where I can lean into it with my stomach and hold it steady. And I will make this ring on this ring mandrel. One thing I like to use is a rubber or plastic tip hammer that I tap the wire so I can create a platform to wrap my wire around the mandrel. And I'm just a little bit smaller here at my size marker because at the end I'm going to want to tap on the wire to strengthen it, to stiffen it, so the wire will not get wonky on me and get bent. And
Okay.
I am putting as many wraps as I think will look pretty around this pearl, maybe about 4 wraps. And I'm going to take the mandrel out of that slot in the workbench. And this is the trickiest part here. You have got to hold this little project tight in your fingers or it'll come unwrapped, right? There's nothing holding it. So I am now trying to secure that nest on the band itself. And this just takes a little practice. I had a wonderful teacher.
What are the pliers you're using?
I'm sorry?
And I apologize for interruption. I was wondering, what are
I'm
those
sorry,
like
can you hear?
those plier you're using, or what's that plier that you're using?
Yes, these are, I just call them all-purpose pliers, but they're flat on the inside. So these pliers work well because a lot of pliers have got like a groove grid on the inside that
Mhm.
helps you hold on to wire, keep from slipping. These are smooth and flat, so I will not mark or mar my wire while I'm working it. Sometimes I want to create a texture, but not this time. I just want the feature to be the pearl. So I'm doing a little bit on one side. I'm switching over to the other side to wrap the wire around the band part. And just, I like to put in at least 3 wraps, but sometimes if I have a lot of extra wire, well, I might have 4 or 5 wraps around the band. Then I go back to the other side. And I see, I don't like the way this looks, how the wrap is very far from the nest. So I'm going to unwrap it and go back to where I started that wrap around the band. And that'll make a more even finished product.
Okay. So you can't
And
wrap.
so this will end up looking like, I'm sorry?
So you can't wrap and then kind of, I'm trying to think about sometimes when you work with thread and stuff, you can kind of wrap and then push the tight in, but you can't really do that.
You're breaking up on me.
All right, you want me to repeat it?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
No problem. So I'm curious, you're unwrapping to rewrap. So to me, that means you can't just take that wire after the fact and kind of push it together. It sounds like you have to like do it tight from the beginning. It's not like thread that you can kind of manipulate. Is that right?
No. Yes, you have to manipulate the wire. And the wire is forgiving to a certain point. This wire is just the right thickness and stiffness in order to be able to make a wire wrap ring. If you have a thicker, stiffer wire, it's a lot harder.
Okay.
It's taken me a while to figure out what works that be. So I'm feeling like I've got enough wraps around the band, and I'm going to clip the wire now, the extra wire that I don't need. Let's see, here it is. And I'm going to save my trimmings. Because this is precious metal, I can find a use for it. Believe me, I can heat it with a torch and make little balls, and I can solder those little balls or those pieces of wire on a future project. So I save all my silver scraps, every bit of them.
Awesome.
And I just want to tuck the ends in so there's no sharp edges that that would be uncomfortable. Jewelry's got to be comfortable and smooth, and so I fuss a little bit with this part. And now I'm going to put it back on the ring mandrel and put it back in my slot and get it set for sizing. I'm not hammering the pearl, I'm hammering the wire. I'm stiffening it. And I'm getting close to that number 8. So at this point, I'm going to take it off of the mandrel, flip it over, put it back on. Because the mandrel is cone shape and you want a ring to be vertical, you don't want to have that flare, you flip it over. Put it back on here, get my plastic tip hammer, turn it over. And what I'm doing is I'm stiffening it and I'm stretching it. So I'm approaching the size ring for the finished project. I'm going to check it again because sometimes when you stretch it, well, those ends might move on you. And let's see, I use a little bit of file action to smooth any rough edges. And now we try it on. I do believe I have a new wire wrap ring.
I believe it is beautiful. I was gonna say I put one on the shop from the shop too. So in solidarity, we both have our rings. I love it. Oh, Sylvia,
Thank you,
that is
India.
so amazing. That was
It
so
is
wonderful.
amazing.
It is.
I had a one. I just want to tell you one little thing. I had a wonderful teacher more than 10 years ago. His name was Kenneth Case. You may have known him when he lived here. And he gave a class. And I just fell in love with this project. The opportunity it's just so wide open. You can wire wrap many things. And it just elevates whatever the bead or the pearl is. It frames it and crowns it. So I wanted to put Kenneth's name out there on the video too.
Awesome.
Thank you, India.
Sylvia, thank you so much. And I tell you, once we can all be back together, I'd love to do an in-person class and hear all the people that say, Sylvia Dawe taught this to me, because it is just, it's really neat. And thank you so much for letting us come to your studio today.
You're very
This is lots of
welcome.
fun.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Be well.
All right, you too. Have a great day. Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
And to all,
So
and to all of you Pearl Girls, thanks so much. So we, of course, sell Sylvia's rings here at the Pearl Girls and online at thepearlgirls.com. And, you know, you are welcome to buy a ring or take this inspiration, go buy some supplies. Send us your questions, comments, anything. This is, you know, kind of one of the fun aspects of us, you know, just hunkering down and taking care of ourselves and staying inside is we can at least connect by video and electronically, which is a nice gift. So feel free, if you have any questions, pass them on to us at the Pearl Girls. I'll get Sylvia to respond to you. And otherwise, thanks for tuning in and y'all have a great day. Bye.